Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Winter is Coming series. This is day 4, Organization for Work and Life. My name is Melissa Allen, and this is brought to you by examfacts.net. All right, moving right along. This little short, this is probably going to be our shortest one of the 5, is just going over organizing ourselves at work and organizing ourselves at home. All right, staying organized at work. What do we mean by that? Of course, we know that we have to plan our workload, and a little bit of this program is meant for those of you out in the field that this might be your first winter or maybe even your second winter. Of course, those of you who've been in the field for years and years know how to plan your shift, but this is something that is a little different in the wintertime when the numbers can go through the roof. So I just want to mention it for those who are newer to winter in the hospitals. So what happens is you end up with so much more, especially if you're on night shift or you end up short staffed because someone didn't come in, because we get sick too, right? It's wintertime, everything's going around. So basically what you want to do is really, really organize your workload, even more so than you normally do. I have had times where I had so much to do. I had Q2s, Q3s, Q4s, Q5s, Q6s that I couldn't even just write the times. I had to create them into, and now I'm a girl, I know I use color, but I had to create them into like all greens. Everything that I was going to do the first hour out there, I made green. Then I made it pink. So whatever works for you, but it's going to take a little more time. This is not the time to skimp on your organization. And leave some time for the unexpected. Don't have your whole day or night shift 15 minutes apart. Something crazy is going to happen. Leave some time for the unexpected. Smush things together more than you would normally. Hustle a little more in the beginning of your shift so that you can have time for that unexpected versus it hitting you on the side of the head unexpectedly, and it really throws you for a loop in that case. Now, taking better notes than usual. Now, most of us are using computer charting. It depends on if you chart at the bedside or if you go back to the department to chart. If you're either case, you need to add a little more detail than you usually do because it's so busy. This is the time of year things happen. People are going to go back and look at your chart if that patient crashes or something happens, and you want to really make sure you CYA. You know, you want to make sure you're taking even better notes than usual, even though you're rushed. If you are someone who doesn't chart till you get back to the department on the computers, that's when you're going to want to really make sure you know which patient's which. You know, write something really distinctive on there. That's the guy with the red shirt, or that's the guy, you know, something that you really have it clear in your head so that you could write those descriptive notes. You might want to have your little chicken scratch notes, and believe me, I say chicken scratch because I have the worst hospital writing ever. But you really want to make sure those notes are a little more detailed than usual, because this is the time of year when things get missed, things happen, and you don't ever want that blame to come back on you. And if it comes, if someone is asking you about the patient, you want to be able to give them that detailed report and say, oh yeah, this happened with that patient. Now, as far as equipment, you may very well walk onto shift and find that the day shift didn't stock for you, or vice versa. Take stuff up with you that you know you're going to need based on your assignment. When you're going from, I mean, I know a lot of respiratory therapy departments are in the basement or they're wherever you might be. If the equipment room is next to where you get report, grab some stuff. Stock early. If you go down and get meals, grab your stuff. Do not wait till the last minute. This will save you a lot of hassle. And when you're working 2 or 3 shifts in a row, you'd be surprised how often the person you're saving is yourself. It might be your coworker, and it's very nice to save your coworker by having them have the equipment they need in the unit or in on that particular floor that's really busy this time of year. But a lot of times I've saved myself by stocking up one night, and then I get back the next night and I'm like, oh crap, I need this, I forgot to bring it, but I had already put it there the night before. So it really is helpful. Now, carry frequently used items that like your crash items. I always had a PEEP valve in case that person on the floor crashes and they're crashing with pulmonary edema, or they're just a bigger person and I don't have the greatest upper body strength and I can't really bag them really adequately, bag valve, mask valve. So I always had a PEEP valve with me. So whatever you feel like you might need for emergency situations this type of year, have it with you. Now, hiding frequently used items. I know we do this, and it's okay to do it, but try not to forget it's there. Try to actually use it. Try not to let it be that come springtime, people are still finding the little things you hid around that you never used. All right, so staying organized at home. Okay, this is not the time to let you get behind in anything, especially not laundry. Last thing you want is to be out of scrubs when you have to go to work. So it's really important, as tired as you are because you picked up 2 overtime shifts, you've got to stay organized with the chores. Now, a great way to do this, whether you're a person with a family or whether you're a single person out there, is to delegate with somebody who is a work friend. So let's say your friend goes to Costco every Saturday and they're going to still go to Costco. It's like, hey, can I give you this $100 and you get the stuff, and then you can bring the stuff to work, or you can go meet them there. And this works with neighbors. This works with family members. Don't be afraid to ask people for help. Now, if you have another spouse or something, it may be time that it's not your responsibility to do the grocery runs or the laundry. Those kids may need to do all of their laundry all winter and not be spoiled because you're just too busy. Okay, so be stern. Do not kill yourself because you're trying to make extra money to make your family have a great life. Make them pick up part of the burden. Okay, I have 4 kids. I had 4 kids all my career as a respiratory therapist. I actually had 2 before I started in the program, then I had 2 more. And yeah, sometimes you just have to say no. And then sometimes you have to say, you know what, my house is going to be a hot mess until I have a day off. Suck it up. Meals and food, it's really important that you stay on top of that so you don't get fall into the let's get fast food every day kind of trap. If at all possible, when you have a day off, rest for 4, 5, 6 hours and then do a little bit of meal prep and get that together. Now, gas, again, oh my God, do I hate getting gas after a shift. But I always end up not getting it in the morning before I go in. We've got to make sure we fill our tank adequately and on a regular basis so that we're not struggling later. Now, maintenance, car maintenance, house maintenance, this is not the time to schedule that. Do that now. Do that now before the season is in DEFCON 5 or madness. Okay, so get all your oil changes. The last thing you want is something extra that you only do every 6 months to happen during the winter. You want all of that stuff to happen early fall, and then they can happen again in the spring. You want to avoid as much of those extra things as you possibly can. Okay, that goes right into life. Events. The darn holidays are right in the middle of the winter season. So there are a lot of events. And if you have children, they have events at school. There's if they're in choir or they're in dance, there are all sorts of events that they are doing and they're presenting. So it's really important that you learn balance, and it is okay to say, you know what, mommy can't be there. Grandma and grandpa and daddy will be there for this one, but mommy will get to see the pictures. I know it's hard, but if it's going to mean that you are not going to sleep, that you are not going to, you're going to sacrifice so much else, you need to be able to say no and let go to some of that stuff. As far as parties go, go to the ones that really make you happy, but don't say yes to everybody's ideas and everybody's party, especially if it's your husband's work friends or your wife's work friends that you really don't like, say no. You're just too busy. You're just too tired. And you do not have to be working to say no. You could be having your day off, your one day off that you're resting. That is a perfectly acceptable reason to say no. So don't feel that holiday pressure or that life pressure that people put on you. Now, the holiday perfect pressure. Oh, this one is so hard for us female types. The thing is, you're supposed to have your house decorated. You're supposed to wrap presents before a certain time. You're supposed to buy everybody this. You're supposed to bake cookies. No, you do you. If you don't want to do any of that stuff, don't do it. Or choose the ones that you really like and do those and ignore everybody. When they invite you to that cookie exchange party where you have to make 10 dozen cookies, what's your answer? No. Sorry, I can't. No, sorry, I'm unable to. It sounds wonderful, but no, my schedule is just full. No, no, no. Will open up your schedule and keep you sane. Learn to say no. And this goes for you men too. I know I went really, really female with those cookies and holidays and children, but the same thing. Your buddies ask you to do stuff all the time. Do what makes you happy. But if the answer is no, if your buddy doesn't work at all, or is, maybe you had time in the summertime to spend 4 hours in the gym every day, even though you work night shift. But now that you're working all this overtime, you don't have that time. Just tell them no, you're going to do, the amount of time you feel comfortable doing. All right, that is it. Hope this were some helpful tips and tricks on surviving winter. All right, thank you so much for spending time with us, and we will have one more lesson tomorrow.